Right, 30 January 2025, and today is a very interesting day. We've got a lot of news, so I'm going to have less opinions and more news. So that is a day when I do less opinions and more news. So we're obviously having a very dramatic day to do with Magaya. So I'm going to give you the story with Magaya. It's a very important story because Magaya is a serious conman. If you didn't know, Magaya is one of the worst conmen in Zimbabwe, and he belongs in jail. And I know a lot about Magaya. Magaya has been conning a lot of people in Zimbabwe, but his days are coming to an end. However, let's start with the key events of today. And to all the guys in Harare, I'm happy to say you should have received yamudhara today. All of you in Harare, this cup is worth $20, and we're giving it to everyone who bought a packet of Move. So metallic cup for your Move. If you didn't get it, if you received your product directly in Harare and collected in Harare, you can go and pick up today. You should have been contacted yesterday if you bought during the period of the promotion. So amazing stuff. And if you're in Bulawayo, you can go and collect your honey and ginger starting today. Now, I want to go into what has happened. It's been very dramatic, and Chiwenga has missed an opportunity. Chiwenga is now on the back foot. Chiwenga was supposed to be right now celebrating the presidency, but because he moved very slowly, Chiwenga has missed an opportunity to become the president of Zimbabwe. Everything was lined up for him to become president. Last week, when he took over as acting president, Zimbabweans were looking forward to a big move from Chiwenga. The war veterans gave Chiwenga an opportunity to become president. They said Mnangagwa must go now. And all that Chiwenga needed to do was to make it happen. As you heard when Jonas was here, all Chiwenga needed to do was to tell the soldiers to go on the street because he was already the president, and Mnangagwa would have stayed wherever he was in Dubai. But Chiwenga did not have the killer instinct. He did not punch Mnangagwa in the face. Instead, he hesitated, and he's going to pay very dearly for that mistake. So I'm not saying this is what Chiwenga planned. I'm saying that was the opportunity which was available, and Chiwenga did not take it. And a lot has already happened yesterday. Mnangagwa has come back and is already in office right now as we speak. And tomorrow, Mnangagwa is going to be meeting with SADC. So SADC heads of state are going to come to Zimbabwe to discuss the DRC. And there is no more opportunity for Chiwenga right now to become president before 2028. So now he has to wait for something else to happen. That is, if Mnangagwa is going to go out of the country, or if Mnangagwa is going to, whatever happens to Mnangagwa. But it's not this week. This week is not going to happen. And the war veterans have started changing. So the war veterans, the official Zimbabwe National War Veterans Associations has already dumped Chiwenga yesterday, and they've now gone to Mnangagwa's side. I want to show you the war veterans speaking so that you can see what I'm talking about.
Those who feel the president should resign today, as they are making those statements, I think they have to revisit the constitution which gave him the mandate, because he was voted into office by the majority. If they can go back to those people who voted him into office, they will have done themselves a big favor than to make some statements which are so careless. So, comrades of the media, the Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans Association clearly I repeat, clearly is behind His Excellency Comrade E.T. Mnangagwa and his entire, let me start from the party, his entire leadership.
Right. So what has happened is simple. Chiwenga has lost the opportunity. There is an overwhelming demand by Zimbabweans for Mnangagwa to go. And what we need is someone who's going to lead, someone that is has got the influence in the army, someone who's got influence within ZANU-PF, someone who's got influence among Zimbabweans. And Chiwenga is that person. However, when given the opportunity, Chiwenga has not moved. And his people are already starting to move away. So remember, Cephas Ncube here was recently elected. Mchamba was rejected. The war veterans went behind Cephas Ncube because they believed that he was going to fall behind Chiwenga. However, these people feel they're not protected and they're moving away. Yesterday, there was an accusation that Geza was paid. So Geza is the guy who made the announcement that Mnangagwa should step down.
It is clear to us that Mnangagwa is failed. He is not fit to run this country, and his time to go is now. We ask him to go peacefully. If he refuses to take heed of this advice, we have no option but to ask the people of Zimbabwe to deal with a rogue president in line with the constitution.
Right. So clearly, the war veterans were ready. If Chiwenga had been ready, they were ready. And now they're pulling back. They can see that something is going to happen. They're going to be destroyed, or they're going to be given what we call a back clap or a slap back. This is what is going to happen. Mnangagwa is not going to sit there and allow the situation to continue. So Chiwenga has lost an opportunity, but not only that, there is going to be a heavy punishment. You're going to see it coming. There's going to be a heavy punishment because they've allowed Mnangagwa to recover. So remember the options that I gave you previously. That first and foremost, there must be a direct conflict between Chiwenga and Mnangagwa. This time, it has to happen when Chiwenga has got no power. And I do not know how it's going to maneuver. And the people that are behind Chiwenga are going to suffer very heavily. This was a mistake by Chiwenga. If you'd have grabbed this chance, Zimbabweans want him to act. Zimbabweans want him to move. And at the moment, the people that support Chiwenga are not feeling safe and protected. He needs to protect his people. He needs to make sure that when people support him and he moves, he mustn't stand. When the opportunity arises now, Chiwenga should move, but he's not moving. And that is why Mnangagwa has came back. So Mnangagwa is back in office right now as you speak, and he's not going to give Chiwenga another opportunity to take over. And sadly, this means more stuff is about to happen, especially to the guys who made the announcement. I anticipate that there's going to be a heavy punishment for these guys if it has not already happened. So there's going to be an example made of the guys who made the announcement that Mnangagwa should go. And let's see if Chiwenga is going to do anything, if the military guys are going to do anything. I also believe that there's going to be action against the generals. The generals were part of this, and Mnangagwa is well aware that the generals were in support of this move. So there's going to be punishment for the generals, and it's going to happen very, very soon, including people like Varelio. They're going to get the punishment. All the generals were there at the National Heroes Eka when all that singing was taking place. There's going to be heavy punishment for them because they are seen as people that participated in almost an attempted coup. So this group here, which I was showing you, so that whole group, Mnangagwa is watching right now. He's got a little pencil ticking, tick. I know this guy. I know this guy. I know this guy. So it's gonna be dirty in the barracks very, very soon. And it's going to be another round of heavy fighting between Chiwenga and Mnangagwa. It's not going to be easy. And it's going to happen in public. You're going to be seeing all these things happening because Chiwenga has not moved. And what I would obviously want to advise Chiwenga is that whenever an opportunity presents itself, he needs to move. Presidency is not handed to you. You will never be handed the presidency. A presidency is a push. You have to push hard to become a president. You can't make a speech and sit back. You have to maneuver. You have to create a team. You have to make sure that things happen, and you have to protect your people. Most importantly, people have to feel protected when they work or support Chiwenga. And in the moment that is not happening, that is why you are seeing that the war veterans are backtracked. So that statement by Cephas Ncube is backtracking. He is saying it's no longer in our hands, it's in the hands of the people. And you know the kind of people that we have in Zimbabwe. So I think we've covered that. That is 10 minutes. Let's go now to the news. And I want to start with the devastating announcement by the Americans. So the devastating Americans announcement who are cutting aid. So all aid has been frozen for 60 days, if not 90 days. Let me just check how many days they're frozen by. I believe that it is indeed 60 days. They've frozen all aid and all programs. And the United States Embassy in Harare has made an announcement to that effect. You can go and check out that announcement on Hopo Chimono's Twitter. So what they've done is, if you have a program that is funded, for example, democracy, health, all those programs, they've frozen them. You don't get money anymore. If you have already money, spend money, they'll pay. But if you haven't, they won't pay. And you have to cancel your program. This has affected Zimbabwe and South Africa very badly. Many South African NGOs yesterday have announced that they're pausing the programs, and it's going to be very bad. People are going to be unemployed, and some people won't come back. So when Trump comes back, he's going to assess which programs make sense, which ones don't, and it's going to be a terrible mess for many, many people. I understand that for HIV programs, the Zimbabwean Embassy or USAID in Zimbabwe has produced a waiver, but I don't know if that waiver is worth the paper it's written on, because the decisions are made in Washington. So I don't think suddenly the program for HIV in Zimbabwe is going to be more important than the program for HIV in South Africa. So that decision is probably going to be made at a level which the guys in the embassy are not able to influence. So very, very terrible situation, especially for the employees. As you know, most of the money that is sent into Zimbabwe, which is about 300 million a year, is used to book hotels, to book flights, to pay salaries. And it's not only going to affect NGOs, it's also going to affect people who work in these industries. The United States, as I always say, is playing a very significant role in terms of the Zimbabwean economy, because they provide cash. So cash flow in the country is going to be terribly constrained because of this decision by the United States to pause all programs, all USAID programs everywhere for the duration of 60 days. So I know that the guys working the NGOs right now are in a crisis, and sorry about that, but that is how it is. If you work on aid, it depends on that person that is providing you with the aid. And so let's see what happens in those 60 days. And I believe that President Trump can make it 600 days. He wants, he's that kind of guy who can just wake up and say, okay, it's now 600 days without aid. So yeah, crazy stuff happening, and it's very, very unfortunate for the guys who are living on aid. Unfortunately for us, we've never received any aid from anyone. Not that we didn't try. With much trying, no one has ever found it necessary to help us. It's so hard to do this work without any support, but it has to be done on a daily basis. Now let's go to another big story featuring Mnangagwa. So this is shocking. The man on the left of Mnangagwa is called Michael or Maxwell Chikumbutso. So this man claims to be an inventor, and today revelations have been made that this man actually came out of jail in Zimbabwe. He was arrested in 2018. And this is in the Newsday newspaper. You can go and check it out in the Newsday newspaper. Was arrested in 2018 for armed robbery and was detained with 5 other accomplices after he robbed a filling station in Waterfalls. And he stayed in jail between 2018 and 2021 because they did not believe that he was an inventor and he had no assets. So they kept him in jail. And then in 2021, when the case came back, because he was denied bail, when the case came back to the judge in 2021, it was found out that most of his accomplices died. And that is how he came out. So he's not only a jailbird, someone from jail, he is also most probably lying about everything. And it's so sad that Mnangagwa has believed this fake story. Mnangagwa kidnapped this young man. And I've put the story about 6 months ago. Mnangagwa kidnapped this young man and they kept him in a secret location and only took him out yesterday to confuse people. So you can go and check out the story that we did on Chikumbutso being kidnapped by Mnangagwa. I think most of you know that story that I did about Chikumbutso being kidnapped so you just type Chikumbutso and type Gambakwe and you will see a story that says Mnangagwa holding Zimbabwean inventor Chikumbutso hostage. So that story, I did it on 23 April. And you go and check it out. Chikumbutso is not free. Whatever he's doing with Mnangagwa is being forced, but he's also got his own history. That is the history of crime. So let me show you. I'm just trying to show you here this story. So go and check out this story here. Mnangagwa is holding Zimbabwean inventor Chikumbutso hostage. And this was reported by Billet Magara, a popular journalist from Zimbabwe, who reported that they're holding Chikumbutso hostage at a secret location in Zimbabwe. And now we know where he was. They were trying to make him come up with this distraction, which is crazy. Then a popular Zimbabwean military man, Mapfumo, Luxton Mapfumo, has been buried in a cave. He's a national hero, sorry, a provincial hero, but then they buried him in a cave. So the Zimbabwe soldiers were over there, they buried him in a cave. This is a traditional, highest traditional honor to be buried like a chief. But normally it's supposed to be a secret burial. So I don't know why they did this in public. So I just want to show you what happened when they buried Lieutenant Colonel Luxton Mapfumo in a cave yesterday. So you can see them walking with him into that cave. And there are also soldiers there giving the gun salutes. Very interesting burial that took place yesterday. And there were some other people there, like Jen Fan, who were just talking about the whole thing. So it's crazy, but that is the burial, the chief's burial. If you're a chief, the burial like that, they put you in a cave, and very interesting burial. I don't know if they're going to put a coffin in there, because normally you're not supposed to put a coffin. You are supposed to do it in such a way that animals will come and eat the whole body and nothing will remain. So I don't know how they did it here, but very interesting burial that took place yesterday of the Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel Luxton Mapfumo in Manicaland. Then we got to Magaya. So I talked about Magaya having a fake degree or a fake PhD, but this story is not complete. So most people don't understand the completeness of this story. This story is not complete. So Magaya is sitting here. You can see Magaya sitting there. And if you want to see the complete story, then you must go to H Metro newspaper. They've done a lot here to try to explain what is happening here. So Magaya had this function in Zimbabwe. And each year, according to H Metro, Professor Mlambo, with the School of Theology, who is the head of the Mount Zion Bible School, awards deserving candidates from South Africa and other countries with the honorary doctorate. And after he received that letter, a team from UNISA secretly came to Zimbabwe and awarded him with a degree. That's what they are saying happened here. So the guy you're seeing at the center is an actual person that is connected to these institutions. I don't know if he's with UNISA or not, but that is Professor Solomon Mlambo, and he's a cleric from South Africa. So I believe that there was buying or paying, which happened here. Someone received money and then they came to Zimbabwe. Someone within UNISA might have been involved, because this Professor Solomon Mlambo, you have to find out how he's connected to UNISA. So go check out the whole story in the H Metro. And then on the right, you're going to see Magaya's first wife. Magaya has got 2 wives. So I always tell you guys, Magaya has got 2 wives, and this is his first wife here. But kana ane nharo Magaya ndinomubuditsira picture remukadzi wake wechi2. Tobuditsa here picture rechi2 remukadzi wechi2 waMagaya. Toita here ndogona kuriputitsa iko zvino picture remukadzi waMagaya wechi2. So he's a conman, he lies to a lot of people, and it's not good. However, the money is changing hands, and UNISA might be embarrassed to find out that people within their own organization were involved in this scam with Magaya. Officially, there is no document that says Magaya has got a degree, but I believe that some people within UNISA participated in this scam in whereby Magaya pretended to the public and managed to convince people that he's got an honorary degree when he doesn't have it. So this is the situation. UNISA is going to sue Magaya. I don't know if they're going to sue. I don't think they're going to sue. Normally, you just report to the police. If someone has got a fake qualification, they get reported to the police, and then the police will take it over. It's a crime in South Africa to lie that you've got a degree or you don't. Many people in South Africa have got fake qualifications, and Magaya is one of them. People want to be doctors because when you are called doctor, it gives respect. But this is not true. These guys are not doctors. Then let's go to Nelson Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa is mourning the death of Gogo Chera or Aida Hanyani. And this is very sad. This lady has gone to God without seeing democracy. She worked so hard to see democracy, but she hasn't seen it. And then Nelson Chamisa has posted a video. If you go to the Chamisa News channel, he has posted this video. Right, so that is Nelson Chamisa speaking there. He's got a video that is put up from one of the channels. I think this channel is called Change Radio Zimbabwe. You can go to Change Radio Zimbabwe. He has spoken there, Nelson Chamisa. And obviously, we are expecting direction from Nelson Chamisa. Now that Chiwenga has failed to give us direction, we are looking at Chamisa to give us direction. And according to my understanding, Mnangagwa is going to be approaching Nelson Chamisa very soon with an offer of some sort of working together or arrangement. So that is what I heard yesterday from some other sources, that Mnangagwa, now that he's seen the power that Chiwenga has got, he is planning to approach Nelson Chamisa. And when I tell you these things that are coming from my sources, I'm talking about very close sources to the action. Then President Venancio Mondlane, the second president of Mozambique, has been traveling around the country yesterday. He's been so popular wherever he went, and he spent the whole day in Tete. You can go check out his platforms. That is President Venancio Mondlane of Mozambique, doing very well and going all over the country and meeting the people, starting in Maputo in the morning and then going all over Tete during the day. And then, obviously, as I said, tomorrow, SADC heads of state are going to be in Zimbabwe. All the heads of governments are going to be in Zimbabwe on Friday. So Friday is tomorrow. Let me check that and confirm it. Yes, tomorrow is Friday. They're going to be in Zimbabwe. Some of them virtually, some of them they're going to be local. This meeting was supposed to happen today, following the meeting that happened in Tanzania of the Troika, but it's not going to happen today. It's going to happen tomorrow. And I don't think President Hakainde Hichilema is going to come to Zimbabwe. So some of the presidents of SADC are going to be virtual, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Then in Bulawayo, there is going to be a new senator. So let me show you what has happened. There's been an announcement by ZEC that there is a vacancy that has arisen after the death of Daisy Velile Mpofu. So Sengezo Chavangu or Weshman Ngube is going to make an appointment of one of the people there as a senator. So is it a senator or a councillor? Let's see here. Local authority. So a seat of a local authority. So that's a councillor has become vacant, and they're going to appoint a new councillor in Bulawayo. So it is a proportional representation. So you're going to hear a name very, very soon. Then President Duma Boko has met the president of the AFDB, and President Duma Boko doing very, very well. I like President Duma Boko, the most dramatic president I've ever seen. When I'm in Botswana, next time I'm going to come and visit President Duma Boko, a very interesting man. And I know that if I make a call, I'll get a meeting with President Duma Boko. And we'll talk about all the important things that are happening. So now let's look at Mnangagwa. I want to look at the Herald newspaper. Today I'm going to feature the Herald newspaper. I'm going to go through with you in what is in the Herald newspaper. So the Herald newspaper today is leading with Mnangagwa. As I said, they have removed Chiwenga as the acting president. So President Mnangagwa is tomorrow expected to preside over the SADC extraordinary summit of heads of states. So that is what has happened here. I've explained to you that the M23 have taken over Goma. They are now going into Kivu. And guys, unfortunately, our guys have gone quiet. So our guys in the DRC have gone quiet. I've not been able to talk to them for the past 24 hours. So I don't know if they're in an area with no network or if they have faced another issue. So we've got some Zimbabwean guys who are over there in that area, and they've been talking to me. Unfortunately, they're not contacting anymore. So I understand that the network might have been cut in Goma, but it's unfortunate that I can't give you video anymore from that area because the network or whatever has happened to the guys. So I'll let you know if there is get restoration of network. Then I'll get you video that no one else can get. We've got guys that are actually inside the action right now in Goma as we speak. So Mnangagwa is going to be presiding over that summit tomorrow. And unfortunately, this also means that the acting presidents of Chiwenga have come to an end, and we have not gotten what we expected to get from this acting presidency. Now, guys, this is very, very sad. And the Hodges, Zim Papers, very sad because I know Andy Hodges very well. Andy Hodges is a problem, but he's also a nice problem. Like, I don't know whether I like Andy Hodges or not, but let me tell you what happened with Andy Hodges and me. So the first time I met Andy Hodges, and by the way, the story is that Andy Hodges has been fired by Zim Papers. So the first time I met Andy Hodges, I was in Bulawayo. I was the regional manager, IT manager for Trust Bank. So one night, one of my jobs was to make sure that the ATMs and the systems are up at night. So I would drive from my house frequently to the bank at night to check that everything's working. So one night when the bank crisis was at the peak, one night I got a call from young Tonde and says, "Mdara, I never withdraw money in bank." So I went to the bank to withdraw all my money. And I said, Tonde, why am I withdrawing all my money? He was in the treasury. So he said, no, the bank is getting closed. So I went there and I withdrew all my money, the last money I had in my bank. And then the next morning, so they came, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe came and they locked the bank's doors. They put a chain on the door. So the next morning, a group came from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe to address the workers, to tell them to leave and which workers are going to stay. So obviously I was one of the workers not going to stay because I was in charge of the systems. But the rest of the guys had to go. And guess who came? Andy Hodges was one of the guys from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. And so I don't know whether Andy Hodges is a RBZ or Zimbabwe or is the guy that they put wherever there's a problem. But that is how I met Andy Hodges. Very arrogant guy. When you ask him a question, he's going to just hit you back. Okay, that is what I felt that time. Andy Hodges was very arrogant at that time. But obviously, eventually, when he moved to ZTN, he was very hardworking. That thing, ZTN, is not making any money. It makes no sense. In fact, they could just as well get one guy who works at ZTN who just read the news for 10 minutes. But their life is good. When they do lives, it's good. But when they try to do other things, it makes no sense. So their model is bad. So what they're announcing here, and I guess I track because what then happened is there's a young lady who used to work on Studio 263. She then announced, well, she was in love with him. And then she told me, don't tell anyone that I'm in love with the Andy Hodges. One day, Andy Hodges himself posted that he was in love with the young lady. You can go check it out. It's crazy. So I'm very interested in what has happened here. And you can go check it out in the Herald newspaper. The board. So let's read through this thing before I forget. The board and management of Zimbabwe Newspapers Limited wish to inform the public that Mr. Andrew Farai Hodges is no longer employed by Zimbabwe Newspapers, trading as ZTN. Mr. Hodges was dismissed from ZTN on 9 December, and his appeal against the dismissal was helped by the board on 21 January 2025. Consequently, Mr. Hodges remains dismissed from ZTN and does not represent ZTN in any capacity. Zim Papers will not be held responsible for any dealings with Mr. Hodges and disassociates itself from any statement made by him regarding Zim Papers. And Hodges, phone gambakwe, undiudze zvakaitika. Kana kuti mimi vanhu vekuzim Papers ndifonere mundiudze kuti chii chakaitika kuti Andy Hodges adzingwe. Vanhu vezim Papers manager havasi kutaura zvine musoro. Why was he fired? And what does it mean? Why is it being put out in public? So Andy Hodges call me titaure nyaya iyi toiputitsa nyaya yezim Papers. But I like those guys. Zim Papers, I like them. I don't really have anything against them. I think that is very significant. Andy Hodges fired and no explanation given by the board except that he appealed and his firing stands. So crazy stuff. We're going to get more about this. Right, I think we've covered most of the stuff that I wanted to cover. I need to go to gym and work out very hard. As you can see behind me, I've got a treadmill. So every day after I eat, I go on the treadmill. It's very important to manage your sugars. So as a man, your weight and your sugars and your muscle. So each change. No foundation. If you don't have muscle, your foundation is weak because here. So guys, your cups have arrived. If you bought and you've been given a call by my office, go and collect your cup. Cup yamudhara. This cup is worth $20. You can put it in your car. You can brew in it, but please don't turn it upside down. So let me give you an instruction. Don't turn it upside down. This cup, it's not anti-spilker. And don't drink hot. So brew your liquid here, put your mve here for 5 minutes, close the cup, and then put your ginger and put whatever you have, coffee or tea, and your honey, and put it aside. But don't drink immediately from the cup because it's very hot. So unscrew it, put it aside, let it cool down, and then you drink. Move, very important. And we're going to have a Valentine special for women. So any woman who buys a packet of Mve, we're going to give you a gift next month. So you can, if you're in Harare and you're going to collect in Harare or Bulawayo, WhatsApp this only for women. We're going to give you a gift for Valentine's Day if you buy a packet of Mve from our Harare office. So you can buy in Harare, you can buy in Johannesburg, Victoria Falls, Cape Town, Johannesburg, all these offices of Zimbabwe Bulawayo, you can buy over there. And murume wako anenge asikachatongwi nemasalad. Mambo na rume vanotongwa nemasalad. Anenge asiri ipapo, murume wako anenge akasimba achipisa semoto unochema seuri pamariro. Right, I want to then go to our headline. Chiwenga has been removed as acting president. The opportunity is gone to get rid of Mnangagwa. The war veterans had put an opportunity in front of Chiwenga to remove Mnangagwa legally. And this has now passed. That opportunity is gone. Chiwenga had 2 opportunities last week at which you could have made this happen, but it failed. The war veterans have retracted or retraced their steps, and they're now saying they support Mnangagwa. And I'll show you that video as we get out. And then let's look at the comments. Zimbabwe, remember Zimbabwe is a military state. The real power is the military. I agree. The real power is the military, but the military cannot be the face of the leader. So the military is looking for a strong leader to lead. Someone who's going to be able to remove this mistake, which is Mnangagwa. Your sources always tell you lies, Matt. Oma Peter, Mnangagwa appetite is now looking to Chamisa for salvation. And Chamisa will not accept it. I can tell you for a fact that Chamisa will never work with Mnangagwa. I think we need people to go together to stop this nonsense. I agree. Ngoma Max, what you said is very, very important. The people need to go in and sort this out. And then let's go. Chiwenga, no, Mkoma. Chiwenga is not lazy. Chiwenga is strategic. He's being strategic. But the problem is, Chiwenga achabatwa asati amuva. Those chaitika. Chiwenga achabatwa asati amuva. Arkunonoka achabatwa very, very soon. Mr. Mve, yes. Mr. Warren Mve, all your problems solved. Kana masala da chikuona notanga kumanya because chinichaka simba 1 liter turns into 3 liters. 1 kickstart and you don't have to crank it. Guys, ane tumwe tovada tunopisa zvekuti hazvifanirwi kuita doubt. I always tell you kuti isusu vamwe tiri busy. Hatina time yekumbosora tichifunga kana tichiti. Every task has got a time. So imagine with 5 minutes yekuita task yako. Apa unobuona kuti engine kushanda ere. Sorry madharangu. Motambura. Isusu kana tikamwa kuti time action yasvika. Tuma kutoita ipapo. Otherwise takuzoona kuti next week. Go elsewhere for news you need. Yes, Mkoma Oscar. News you need. Go to my favorite news people. Let me tell you who my favorite news people are in Zimbabwe. Opo Chingono, Fadzai Mahere. Those people are news people. Who else? Ango Geza. My favorite news person. Rumbi stepped me in the back. I'm very bitter because Rumbi stepped me in the back. And I feel that she needs to apologize to me before we can go back where we were. I used to have long chats with the Rumbi where she used to call me and would sit there and talk and get so close together. But she stepped me in the back when it was not necessary. So Mkaona Rumbi Mudo to apologize to Gambakwe. Gambakwe is hurt deeply. Nezo wakaita Rumbi uncensored. Then when Jana put the news, I think the pizza. Never need a news. International Gabi. I don't have time to watch those long things that you do. Itaoka that ma 5 minutes. Then those will watch. Because good in this what the 3 months in but so die die. So it's also 3 pieces. International Gabi. Itaka 5 minutes. Kama summary. Kaono kuna somewhere so that we can understand the story quickly. And we'll see in summary what happened. Maybe we can do a roundup every week, which summarizes, because the stories are quite interesting from Tinashe Mugabe and the Mkoma Wangu, who went through mass media. Very nice stories and documentaries. Amazing news that we're getting in Zimbabwe. And what President Trump has done is amazing. So President Trump has started what is called new media. You should check it out. Unfortunately, the website was not working yesterday. They are now allowing the people from social media to come into the White House and cover the press briefings. I'm an accredited journalist in the United States of America. I can go anywhere in Washington, but they have a new media. They were not there. Now they're allowed to go. So it's amazing, guys. And I would like to thank you for all your support. Don't forget the women. We've got a special for you. If you buy Mouvet for your husband or your boyfriend, we're going to give you a special gift on 14 February. Yes, we are talking 0.5. 0.5 Wenanga. Muno Wenanga uyo. Akandituka. I think the record and some Vumira. Lucky enough, I'm consistent with what I'm saying. I want to take his apology. 0.5. 0.5, I won't take your apology because Uri Muno Wenanga. Muroi. Right, guys, I really enjoy talking to you, and I'll see you. Don't forget to come to the Victoria Falls project. We're doing very, very well. A lot of you guys have come on. We're over 1,000 people now. We're going to build nice houses in Victoria Falls. There is a project for homecoming. If you're outside of Zimbabwe, you do the homecoming project. If you're inside Zimbabwe, you do the manager project. So the management housing, affordable housing scheme, 2-bedroom. That is for people in the diaspora. And also a nice piece of, so you get land and you're also going to own part of the property in the homecoming project. But for the guys in Zimbabwe, you are going to get a stand where you can build and you can put this on Airbnb. You can start making income in December. You can take your wife over there and enjoy yourself. Imagine mkazi wako, big. Your wife doesn't have to cook. She'll be only there to entertain you in December. Noti is mpana week now. Anotora mkazi wenda ku honeymoon. Nema apostle. Mkazi wako achinyauzwa. Week now anopenga mama. Wenda ku honeymoon nema apostle. Wachinyauzwa mkazi wako. Anozo kuda say pakadaro. So no problem ya week now. Ane dzungu. Mfesi uyu. Dinga. Chigananda. Chigananda. Right, I'd like to thank all of you for watching and a good day to you all.